Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to spend a few minutes looking and learning about political interest groups. And as you can see in these images symbolize some of the concepts we're going to be looking at today. If you look here, this is a symbol of a very powerful organization called the National Rifle Association. And as you can tell by their name, they advocate for government policies, government laws that promote gun ownership. Here you have people, and it looks like they might be protesting, and they have a big banner that says, "Congress, stop the raids, deportations." And if you'll notice, these people picked a very important spot to do this protest. What building are they in front of? Yes, the Capitol building. And who works in the U.S. Capitol building? Congress. And what is the main job of Congress or any legislative branch? To make laws. And so this is really what interest groups are all about. They use lobbying, campaigning, media, sometimes building coalitions in order to advocate, in order to persuade the government, especially Congress, to make rules, to make laws that help its members. All right, so let's take a look at the definition of interest groups. Here we go. Interest groups are groups that influence government in order to receive favorable policies. We're going to use this word policies many times today and in this class. And I referred to the meaning of it before if you were paying attention. Policies are like rules or laws, the way of doing things. Okay? Now, interest groups are usually only concerned with some issues, a few issues. Go back to what you were just reading about in terms of political parties. Political parties are focused on many issues. Interest groups focus on a few issues. For instance, in this picture here, you see a guy holding a sign saying "Stop abortion," and then over here you see ladies protesting with a sign that says "Keep abortion legal." Abortion is a very controversial issue. Everybody has their opinion. Interest groups focus on promoting specific opinions on issues. And another important concept that goes with interest groups are that they exist at all levels, not just at the national government, but the state and local government too. I like this image here because it shows you people, petitioning the government. You see the Capitol in the background, they're petitioning, and you'll notice that you have groups of people. You have maybe lawyers, doctors, workers, maybe teachers, and that's the idea of interest groups. You have these people coming together with similar interests, trying to get the government to do things that benefit the interest group. All right, so let's look at the goals of interest groups. What are they doing? Number one goal of interest groups, influence public policy. They want the government to make rules, to make laws that help their interests. Second thing, they want to educate the public about issues. In this image here, you see how this lady is showing governments and other agencies the value of your plan. The idea here is that this person is educating, is persuading, is giving information to support why the government should help the interest group. And the last goal of interest groups is to help candidates, help people running for office win. And one of the ways they do that is endorsing them and supporting them, either by giving them money or organizing people to vote for them. We're going to talk about this in just a few minutes, but here you have a picture here of two men running for governor in Virginia, Ken Cuccinelli and Terry McAuliffe. And you'll notice how the NRA, the National Rifle Association, put their symbol next to this guy. And they gave him a grade of an A. Now down here, Terry McAuliffe has a grade of a D. I'm sorry, that's the D for Democrat, and he has a grade of an F. you'll notice that Cuccinelli has the endorsement a higher grade compared to McCullough. So the NRA is telling its members, hey, if you live in Virginia, you should vote for Cuccinelli because he supports the National Rifle Association's goals. All right. Biggest thing you have to know about interest groups is their role in affecting elections. Think about it this way. Interest groups want the government to make rules that help them. Well, who runs the government? Politicians, elected officials. So if interest groups can encourage their members to vote for candidates, people who want to be in office, interest groups can get people in office to make policies that help its members. A couple different ways interest groups do this. They can help create the party platforms. We talked about platforms today earlier. Platforms are the plans each political party has that they want to accomplish. And then another way interest groups influence elections is by donating money. Now, interest groups cannot donate directly to candidates. There's all sorts of rules, but interest groups can create what are called political action committees. These are independent groups that collect money and then take the money they collect and donate it to the candidates that support their views. And just like this political cartoon says, the more you donate to politicians, the more access you have, the more they might listen to you and help you out. This is a little bit controversial. We'll talk about this more later. Another concept connected to interest groups, and this is really what interest groups do, the concept is called lobbying. Lobbying is or are the specific actions that people and interest groups use to influence the actions of government. And then you see the word here, lobbyists. A lobbyist is a person who actually does the lobbying. So here you have a lobbyist, and he's, knuckle bumping with this guy. And what is this guy representing right here? Yeah, the Capitol. And who works in the Capitol? Congress members. And so here you have this man lobbying the government to make policies to influence government actions. The idea of lobbying, the number one goal, all right, interest groups want the government to make policies to help its group. Lobbying are the methods, are the ways. How are you going to get this person, these officials, to help you out? That's what lobbying is all about. All right, let's take a look at some of the techniques. Well, the big one, and the one that most people think about when they think about lobbying, is this right here. Just talking, meeting with policymakers, whether it's in person, over the phone, over email, exchanging ideas. Another way interest groups can affect politicians are by running commercials, using the mass media. And we're going to take a look at this commercial. As you watch this commercial, pay attention to what this commercial wants from the government and what they tell the audience at the end of the commercial. I'm going to play it. Let's see if it works. Hold on. Loading.
Feeding a family is difficult enough in today's economy. Now some politicians want the government telling me how I should do it. They want to put new taxes on a lot of groceries I buy, like soft drinks, juice drinks, sports drinks, even flavored waters, trying to control what we eat and drink with taxes. Give me a break. I can decide what to buy without government help. The government is just getting too involved in our personal lives.
Tell the candidates, government needs to trim its budget fat and leave our grocery budgets alone.
All right. And we should be back. Here we go. We're back from that commercial. And as you watch that commercial, what was that commercial telling people, informing people? Yeah, the commercial was saying that the government should leave people alone. Don't put food taxes on them. Don't tell the government. Don't tell people what types of food they should buy. And you saw at the end the commercial asked people to contact their member of Congress to tell them, hey, please, don't pass these laws. All right. And we talked a little bit about this earlier, but another technique that lobbyists use or interest groups use is affecting elections. And the word here, endorse, and we looked at that before. Endorse means to support. When you endorse something, you are giving your full-fledged support by saying, I like this person, I think this person should win. Couple ways to do endorsing. We talked a little bit about this. You can donate money, and by donating money, politicians need lots of money to win elections. Currently, it takes about $1.5 million to run an election in the House of Representatives every 2 years. In the Senate, it costs about $10 million to run a re-election. And for president, oh my goodness, Obama and Romney each raised over $1 billion to run their campaigns in 2012. It's a lot of money. And so interest groups and lobbyists often donate money to candidates. There are lots of rules with this. You can't just give a congressman or a president $1 million check. But members of Congress and the government do receive money from interest groups because the interest groups think that these candidates will help their interest group. All right. The last thing I want to show you before I end is just a simple little visual here of how lobbyists do their work. So the way the system works is that you have an interest group. Now this example is one called the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. This is an interest group that focuses on helping businesses, big businesses, small businesses. It's very powerful. This organization knows business. It understands business. However, it might not be very knowledgeable about how to create government policy. So what the interest groups do is they pay money and hire lobbyists. I think of lobbyists kind of like agents, okay? You have athletes. Athletes know how to play soccer, know how to play football, basketball. Athletes don't know how to negotiate for a bigger contract, so they hire an agent. An agent's job is to help their client, help their group. So interest groups pay lobbyists, and the lobbyists work to persuade Congress to get policies that help the interest group. Lobbyists can donate money to members of Congress. Lobbyists can talk to members of Congress. Lobbyists can use a lot of techniques in order to get the member of Congress to help the interest group. And that's what it's all about. Interest groups, lobbying, it's all about persuasion. It's all about influence. Getting the government to help your organization. I hope that helped you. If you are still confused, please ask your teacher to go over anything you are still confused about. Have a wonderful day. Adios.